Well, hello, this is Gmodism Total Nerdery channel, and you should be most welcome to the annual Ultimate Ship tutorial. Now it's 2018 and a lot of things have changed. That is why we'll do another Ultimate Ship tutorial. Isn't that fantastic? So, anyhow, we'll begin with spawn a core. Which, if you don't know, you'll do that on the X button. We'll just make some starter ship. Now, this ship won't look very nice, but here we have a core, and this is the ship core. And we'll jump into it. And at the top on build mode, it says build mode, but on top on that you see an arrow. This is the direction of the ship, and this is important to remember because you can change it. If you click the C button, you align to universe, or to straight forward if you're in a turret. Anyhow, we'll take some blocks here. Now I have creative mode enabled just so I can get all blocks easily, but you might as well not do this. There are different types of blocks you can build with. We'll begin with using some scaffolding because they are very cheap and nice like this. Here we have build size. You can scroll up and down here. The default is 10. I set it a bit higher to 500. And I have a tutorial on how to do that. I can link it to you if you are wondering how to. So anyways, we just scroll up and down to make a little frame like this. And then I'm going to show you, here we have something called symmetry planes. And we'll use this one here. And this one here. And as you might imagine, if we place a block here, you see, they are multiplied. And this saves so much time. So much time. If we scroll here, we have same different shapes of the same type of block. If we hold Control, we can scroll and it will change direction, or you can click the arrows up here. And then we can smoothen shapes out like this. Works. And then you can just go down here and place new blocks there, and you don't have to switch it, but still have a tilted construction. Yeah, we'll do like this. Anyhow, there is also something called a build helper, which we'll check out. And on build helper, we have some different shapes. Ellipsoids are spheres or elliptic spheres like eggs. You can make shapes easily. We have lines and we have circles, just for demonstration purpose. I'll make a line, or a circle I mean. The circle is, however, yeah. The circle is you can make it non-circular. No, you can't. Never mind. Then you have to use the ellipsoid. It's a bit harder. But anyways, we'll just set position. And we'll set it there. And that's far too large. So we're going to decrease this a little bit. So we're just going to clear and set position. And here we have a more reasonably sized circle. And we can check this block. Restrict building to helper. And then we can do like this. We take and scroll up a fair, decently large amount, like this. Then we enable. Here, if you click here, you can build things with odd symmetry, or between blocks, basically. By the way, and we just take this little slab, basically, and place it down. But it is supposed to be restricted to build helper Oh, but we now block another structure, so we're just going to move out from this station here a little bit. And then we should be able to place it down like there. Here you see, magically filled up. Perfect. We should just clear this. I just wanted to show off build helper. If you want to build outside the build helper while still having, you know, this little pattern here, you can just uncheck restrict to build helper. Works nicely. Anyways, I'll clear that because we are going to make this a little we're going to make a little hole out of this, basically. Also, it can be good to know that the placement of your core is pretty important. As with direction, you can't change where you put your core. And you can have cameras in the games, you can have many types, you know, you can have many cameras all over the ship, but if all cameras get destroyed, your default viewpoint will be the core. So basically, if you have a warship, you always want the core view to be at least decent. But now we are building with basic armor, and basic armor is lighter than the other types of armor, but it definitely provides some amount of protection. I mean, it's not the strongest type of armor, but it isn't type of armor, so it's the best type of cover for civil ships. On military ships, you can use standard armor. If you go here, we'll just take gray standard armor. You want to have, you know, armor plates of standard armor. And if you have I wouldn't recommend you to build an entire ship out of advanced armor, which we have down here, but advanced armor has the highest armor, basically, and you can put advanced armor on special portions of the ship that will receive extra amounts of fire. But we can do some slab working to press down some hull pretty quickly, like this. Oops. I'll just scroll up and down a little bit until we find the right sizes. There we go. We'll just do some basic covers for this thing here, because I wanted to show you another little thing. Say that we want a new color here. We don't want gray advanced armor. Instead we want, I don't know, of course we want pink advanced armor. Then what we do is that you see this little here on selection. On selection, this little tab, you can click replace with active slot, and then we scroll down to the fill tool. And then we click place fill origin, and we click inside this plate. We basically place the origin inside this plate, and then we click fill. And now all advanced gray armor has been replaced with advanced pink armor. And you know, you can do this for the rest as well. Maybe we want basic dark armor instead. So reset the tool, click place fill origin and fill, and now all this turned to dark gray. So that's some pretty cool tricks you can do. Very useful for making new colors or changing colors of existing ships. Now then, we'll go through the energy system. So, to have a ship, we of course need some energy. And on this ship we will have the reactor in front. Often you probably don't want, or like this, if you want to shoot enemies, in front of you and take fire in front of you, you probably want the energy as far back as possible. But if you are some kind of ship that, you know, maybe will escape from shooting ships, cargo vessel or whatever, you might want to instead have the energy in the back of the ship. No, in the front of the ship, sorry, because you will receive more shots in the back of your ship as you escape. But anyways, for demonstration purposes, we'll place it in the middle of the ship because I need to show some stuff. Or actually it works here as well. So, when making energy, you can't make them in long lines or slabs like this because they will have low integrity. Here you can see, by the way, the size of your ship and lots of information. You should check this carefully. You can also see something called integrity. So if I make an energy that looks like this, and you see as longer I make it, we will have negative integrity. So this is a very bad shape for energy, and having negative integrity will make it basically be an unstable ship. So the system will start to implode when it receives damage. And of course you don't want that. So you want to build the reactor pretty solid and pretty compact. You don't need a huge reactor, but you know, like this, for this ship is probably decent. Then we have something called stabilizers, and you can see this is 55% stable, which works. But if this was a warship, when the reactor is not stable anymore, that is, you know, when it's large enough, and yeah, if we have a very large reactor like this, it will have like only 50% stability, and when it dips into low stability, below 35%, I think it was last I checked, but it might have changed that, then it won't generate energy very much efficient anymore. You can look at it and you can see it now generates 1800 power. Anyways, if we do a little measurement here, you can see we are 7 blocks away from the center, kind of. And this might not... we would like to have them a little bit further away, because this is not so efficient placement. The further away it is, the more efficient it will be. So if we place it like here, you see it's green and it has pretty good stability, pretty good stability, yeah. But what we can do to shorten this down is to have stabilizers on all sides of it. Then, basically, to explain it simply, if we have a reactor here and we have stabilizer 100 meter away, 200 stabilizers 100 meter away, it's as efficient as has two groups of stabilizers, you know, 50 meters away, and instead of 200, 100 in each pile. And if we instead have them in four directions, in 4 different places around the ship, like this, and this, we can, you know, we can part them up. So with the same amount of stabilizer, if we have them on different facets, it will be more efficient. We also have this little, you see this little, we need to remove that to see it properly, but you see we have a little framework all around it. And this is different facets or different kind of areas, and you can tilt this around so that you can have all the cubes on different sides, basically. A little bit hard to explain, but yeah. Place them on all 6 sides. You can't have more than 6 sides, but place them on all 6 sides and you have a pretty stable reactor. 77% is fine for a civil vessel. But you can see here, because we spread them out like this, we don't need so many, and we have 99.4% stability. Now 100%. So that's really nice. Anyhow, as you probably see, we have these stabilization beams or energy streams going through the ship, and we can redirect these if we just find the right block, which is Reactor Stabilizer Stream Node. So basically I just had to check a little quickly, but if we place it here, we can select it, and then we place down here, and it's automatically connected up like this, so we don't have to see those things. Same here. If we want to lead this away here and basically have it underneath there, we'll just need to take it, whoops, wrong direction, connect it and connect it up like that. They are a little bit weird, and it's a little challenge to work with, but I mean, even though they go weird directions, the stabilization is still the same. By the way, when shots hit these energy streams, it will automatically apply damage to your power and the reactor, so keep that in mind. Also, armor works like this. If we have armor on us, you see here that on this angle, armor thickness is 1, from this it's 2, and from this angle it's like 17, 18, yeah. So the amount of armor stacked will apply to stronger armor. They will add up. So if we have an armor plate that is much stronger than that's like many layers and that's like much stronger than any bullet hitting it, the bullet will only destroy 1 block. If the armor is a little bit stronger than a bullet but not much, it will destroy 1 block and a little bit around it, you know. But if the armor is much weaker than the shot, it will do damage all around and continue into the vessel and make damage to the internal components. And armor adds up to an armor bonus. So thick plates, large plates of armor is very good, and they are also, if you have an independent armor here, like for example, by the way, here we have glass, and here we have white crystal armor. Glass is just glass. White crystal armor is very strong. It's as strong as advanced armor. So I just wanted to show you here. Let's select a cooler color though. But the same with these force fields, by the way. They are also very strong. So if we make a little protective plate like this, when a shot hits us or you know, the outer shell of the armor and continues into the inner armor, it will start calculating all along. So we have to have a pretty damn powerful shot that will first do damage to the outer armor and then do damage to this inner armor plate of the reactor. And when your reactor is out, your ship is basically wrecked. You need to protect your reactor. Why I would advise anyone to make a little nice, like this, a little nice armor coverage for your reactor specifically. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. Now, we have a little bit mixed types of armor on this ship for sure, but just to add a little bit more whole shape of this ship, we're going to add some glass on it, just to have some cover of it. And glass is not an armor block, so it's pretty weak, but it's something. And just a few blocks. Yeah, I'm sure this is fine. Then it's a little trick here. You can, if you have a very symmetrical ship like this, using build help symmetry mode very often helps a lot. So I'd say to all new builders, really get used to using the StarMade built-in build tools, because they really do help a lot. And if you just build like you did in some other voxel game, you know, Minecraft or whatever, it will be very slow for you to build. All right. And like this, just have a little cover. By the way, now we'll want to disable this little thing here for sure. Okay, but now we see we have a decent core view, which is really useful for all battleships. Should have, actually all ships should have a decent core view. There is no downsides with have a decent core view, just so you know. Excuse the background sound of someone using a wood sawing equipment and stuff. That's loud. Anyhow, as I told you before, if this was, let's say this is some kind of battleship thing, or warship, all warships we should say, then it needs better armor on front. And if we'd say we'd take much shots here, we can add extra layers of armor. And if this is a ship that's mostly consisted of basic armor, having armor plates like this helps a lot if they can absorb most of the damage. This is slabs. They are only quarter the size of the big armor, but they still have the full protection. Also, when making cockpits and stuff, I'd really use always use crystal armor, because it's much stronger than glass, and you also have them in nice colors. Okay, let's have a nice cockpit window color like this. And as I said, this is not it's not supposed to be a very nice looking ship, it's just supposed to be basic. But here we have a nice core view. Now we go to the next point, which is shields. We'll make a little basic shield. So we just need to find the blocks for making shields, which is, here we have shield capacitator and shield recharger. Shield rechargers emit the shield. They're kind of the shield emitters. You have to have a minimum of one of these. Probably more, but if you place one down, you can see this is the area that covers our shield. That is our shield. If our ship extends below this sphere, our shield will not absorb the damage. It will go directly to the armor. The shield will absorb damage, all the damage, as long as it's able to, and will leave the ship completely undamaged. Shield capacitors are the shield banks, if you so say. They can be placed anywhere and should be placed in groups. You can have a maximum of 20 groups though. But anyhow, there are two types of shields. The shields that take a lot of damage and the shields that recharge fast. To kill a shield that recharges fast, you need to use heavy, strong hitting, powerful weapons. And to destroy a shield that has a lot of HP, throwing a lot of small shots on it all the time will keep it from recharging. Anyhow, when we have more shield rechargers on the same place, the shield area will be bigger, as you can see now. We also, of course, need some way to... we need thrusters, yeah? So we'll place a couple of thrusters here, and in StarMade you need a good amount of thrusters to actually be a fast and agile ship, or decently so anyways. So this is, as you can see, not very many thrusters. If we go into this little menu here, can remove power and see thrusters, we can see that our max speed is 225. So this ship currently has the max speed in this game. But the more thrusters you have, the faster is your acceleration. So now we can accelerate a little bit faster. One point on the reactor as well. Under the reactor, you can have, let's see here, if we find the reactor blocks here we have reactor conduits, and here we have reactor chambers, and you can do a lot of things with these chambers here. They're generally expensive, but it can be fun to have, you know, some good stuff. I won't be going through all the effects because that will take ages. I do it in another specific reactor video, but just to show you, we're going to add a chamber. So we draw this conduit to any distance, and here we have the FTL chamber. And for this reactor size we need one more block. Okay, this is the biggest. And when we click R on this, we see FTL chamber, and we can specify chamber. And then we can click jump drive base. And the more chambers we have, we can do a lot of advanced stuff. And this gives us faster jump charge time, and also bigger distance. No, not bigger distance, that's some other chamber. It said lower power cost. Anyways, as we made the backside of this ship here, we can fill it with, or actually we'll just leave it open for tutorial purposes. But when we scroll, if you hit shift and scroll, you can scroll outside your ship, you can see they light up. If you for any reason would like to have a different color on your thrusters, you can place a light block anywhere. There, perfect. Maybe there, yes. Then you take the core and you click C on the core and V on this. And this is, by the way, the same way you make weapon shots have different colors. Ooh, now we have purple thrusters. Right. Moving on, we need a little dock on our ship, and to dock on our ship, people use different types of docks. However, the very popular way to dock on ships, we're going to do a little ship deck in here, like this, little ship deck, is the universal serial dock. And we'll make a very basic version of the universal serial dock because we are lazy. And we are going to have a docker. Let's see, the rails, where did they escape? There. Here we have a rail docker. That should be to the left, pointing inwards. And then we have a rail which should be to the right. Rail to the right, remember that. Perfect. This is a universal serial dock, kind of. And we of course need a little door for this, so we're going to have a simple blast door like this. This is probably the most basic universal serial dock you can make. Open and close. And if you want to be fancy, you can do like this. This is the public permission module. Be very careful with that. But we place it down here, and then we place the public permission module just beside it. And then we click C on this, Shift V, and the entire door can be opened or closed by anyone, not only the ship owner, because if you have it, only you can activate your door, or if it's unfactioned, anyone can. Anyhow, to prevent people from stealing your ship without basically shooting it up first, you need a faction module. In the faction module, you need to be in a faction, which you make on the H menu here. Here, create faction. Okay, we have created a faction. Now we can enter faction signature. Now this ship belongs to us. And if people needs to enter, they can't use this door, they need to use the button to open and close. Yes. I know, so I can tell you so much about logic and stuff, but I feel I don't want to. This tutorial should be fairly concise. So yeah, this is that. Okay, great. You probably want storage on your ship, by the way, and this is here. So we have a little storage computer here. Perfect. Select this by C, and then you can place down a little storage area. We have our stash here. Here is our stash. Also, if somebody shoots your full crates, if this is full, you will see crates here. They'll take damage. Before all full crates are destroyed, this block can't be damaged. Shots will go straight through it. So that, yeah, it's to prevent you from losing all the cargo if one blocks get destroyed, because the cargo is actually in here. Alright. Something you might want to know as well, we have a lot of decorative blocks. These people use all over the place to make it look fancy, but they do nothing. They also almost weigh nothing, so there is no disadvantage having some nice decorative blocks all over the place. Alright. On the display module you can write in anything. You can also write in lots of commands. I have a specific tutorial for this. But you can, you can have commands and stuff like that. It's pretty fun. Now then, should we jump directly into weapons? Let's just pop down this Bobby AI first. And yeah. Oh yeah, transporters. We might have a transporter in here also. If a nearby structure has a transporter, you can teleport between entities, which is fancy and all. So here we have a transporter, and we have a transporter module there, which is connected up with CV mode. If we click this, we can set public access. This means that anyone can jump into our ship. Don't do this in our warship. Oh well. We also have the Bobby AI. If you for some reason wouldn't want to drive your own ship, you can have a Bobby AI here, which can, be an AI. Now, Most ships want some utility stuff, and that is here. We have a little stack of computers here. Here we have the salvage beam. The salvage beam is the beam you can mine asteroids with, so all miners have this. Remember that these all are touching, which means that from these there will only come out one block, one beam I mean. If you want several beams, you need to make them not touch, like this. But now we actually have 3 beams, so let's scratch that. Let's just have one salvage beam. This salvage stuff will go into your inventory, but you can select this thing, and no, I mean you can select the salvage computer, and then you can click V on the cargo, and all your mined stuff will go directly to the to the cargo. And then we have the Astrotech module. Sorry for that little quick pause. But anyways, here we have the Astrotech module. And this is a repair beam. To repair stuff, you need stuff in your inventory, or as before, you can connect up this, so you can see both these are connected to the same storage. This means if we repair another ship, it will steal blocks from our inventory. Then we of course have the tractor beam. And the tractor beam can be used to push, pull and move around other ships and objects. It's pretty self-explanatory, so we won't waste any time on trying it out, but it exists. Alright. Then we have some other stuff, but that's not so important, so we'll not cover that. One thing that is very easy to do and also is pretty important though, that, my friends, is the medic boxes. They can be a little bit tricky to understand, but or not to understand, but to see in the inventory rather. It's basically first aid kits or medical cabinets, they're the same. If you click activate on these, you'll get 10 health. So have more than one if you're not poor, because they are expensive. Alright, I think it's time to go over to cameras. If you want different views, you can set cameras like this. Cameras can also be hidden behind blocks and still give you a view. So if we click the sideways arrow button, we switch cameras. Fantastic. You can also have cameras in backward and forward and sideways, and it can help docking a little bit. Anyways, we'll just test drive our little ship now. Click G and you find all the systems we added. So Astrotech, and we have a scanner and a jump drive built in. The jump drive is there, and we have an activation beam, and I'll just go through these basic things. So salvager, and on left alternative you can switch firing modes, unfocused or focused. Tractor beam, you right click, you can change hold, and left alternative, pull, push, hold, so you can basically bring things with you. Here we have the repair beam, and then we have the scanner, so we can turn auto charge on or off, but if we hold it, if we charge it like that and right click, it's scanning, and this means that we will detect all the stuff in the universe. So if we go on maps here, we're supposed to get some yeah, anyways. Jump drive works like this. Charge with left click and jump with right click when it's charged, but this takes ages, so yeah, never mind. This is not a jump ship really. You generally want some good power to charge the jump drives, and you can see that it's stealing energy from the weapons. In StarMade it doesn't take energy to fire a weapon, it takes energy to load a weapon. So when you breach your energy capacity, it will start to steal energy from the other stuff. The activation beam is a little beam that you can turn on and off other logic blocks from outside the ship, like maybe the key or something to a hangar door or whatever. Anyways, finally time for weapons. Mine layers is a small science in itself, and there are a lot of weapon combinations. So I will simply just give you two of my favorite weapon combos, which is lock-on beam, no, lock-on beams, that's normal beam. I mean machine gun and lock-on missiles. So, here we have a cannon, here we have another cannon. Select this by C, and then we'll make this thing a machine gun. Whoops. But this, my friends, will actually part up. Okay, we have a pretty fairly big machine gun like this. And like that. And on we selected this, hook up this other computer as a slave or support. Select this computer and start adding support blocks somewhere else. It's just basically to boost the other cannon. And it depends on what effect you use to boost it, and you will get different results. No, it depends on what type the other weapon computer is. You will get different types of effects. So this little boosting pile here will make this firing faster. So now we have a secondary slot here, it's called. It makes us shoot faster. So having 100% support will make this machine gun shoot at maximum speed. And as you know, if you want a fun color, you basically just hook up a nice color block to this base computer like this. And you now, if we go in here, we have a nice machine gun, or autocannon rather, with a green shot. If you right click, you can also aim or zoom in. Anyways, with left alternative we can switch firing mode so that it switches shots between every shot, which makes it more automatic. What am I saying? Not more automatic, but it will not shoot two at a time, but also the firing rate will be faster instead. Anyways, cannons is the only type of weapon that actually has recoil. So, perhaps you see this, but we actually gain some speed backwards when shooting this. If you shoot large guns, you will have a lot of recoil. Anyways, to make a lock-on missile, we place down a missile computer, then we place down a damage beam computer. We take the missile computer and we place a little missile firing thing on top of here. And from the beam computer we'll have the more blocks we add to this as support, it will gain another type of effect, but for lock-on beams you only need to hook up a beam. You only need to hook up a damage beam computer in order to have a lock-on missile. So if we go in here and then we can lock on to whatever. you'll see like this, it's slowly locking on. And when it's locked on, we can fire it. We'll get into war with those if we fire it, but we fire it somewhere else. And now our missile storage got depleted, and you can actually have more missiles if you use these missile capacity modules. So we'll add a little pile of missile capacity modules, and you can see that now we have 2 missiles to fire, and oh really? Okay, it doesn't want to give us more than 2 missiles. Anyways. And this shot can of course also be colored. So you just add a little nice color there. All weapons consist of three types of damages: kinetic damage, heat damage, and electromagnetic damage. If I'm not remembering badly, electromagnetic damage is good against shields, heat is good against maybe armor, and kinetic is maybe good against this. I'm not really sure actually. They never said that. But cannons are mostly kinetic, beams are mostly heat, and missiles are mostly electromagnetic damage. You can change this, so if we want to have extra more electromagnetic damage on our missile, we basically need to add this little effect computer. So we take this by C and click on V to have this effect computer, and then onto this EM effect we put on EM modules anywhere on the ship, just like this. And you can see that our main size of our missile is 16, and the size of our tertiary slot is also 16. This means 100%. You can't have more than 100% support. So if we have the cannon here that has secondary slots cannon, it can only go to 100%. Beyond that, it's only a waste of blocks. So now we have very much electromagnetic missile. Anyhow, I kind of want to try out some stuff. So we're just gonna spawn a core area, and then we get into. Okay, so we can shoot our own core. All right, reactor beam. We click hold. You can see now we are holding this thing. We can now push, pull. Okay, let's pull it in and hold it. Perfect. So that's how to use it, by the way. But we can lock on to this one, and let's have volley firing mode of missiles. Okay, it doesn't matter because we only have one one output, that is, and locked on. And it's you know, it's overheating, of course, but we could have turned away and it would still have hit the target. Anyways, I just want to explain some other stuff from earlier. But if you click R on a reactor or go into the menu up here, you can set some different stuff here. So you can boost your ability to use the rotational thrusters. Yeah, and if you, yeah, or you can make it, you can also make it accelerate faster than it goes up and down, like this, for example. Can be useful. And it takes 10 seconds more until that is set. But something you probably want in a larger ship with lots of decks is this, gravity. And you can have this anywhere. If you just exit the ship and you activate this, you're into gravity, which is useful. Now, I just explained stuff briefly, but you should take your time and read these explanations here. They are pretty good. And, you know, if it was anything was hard to understand, check more on these. They're up here. Quick building reference stuff. But we should now make a anti-missile turret. And to do this, we need to go to... oh yeah, by the way, again and again. But you can download templates from StarMade doc. I have a lot of templates there, but that can, you know, just if you want parts or just want to speed up, or a lot of builders use templates just because, and you can make your own templates. I think I made a tutorial of how to make and save templates as well. And if you download templates, you just put them into your StarMade and then templates folder, and you can just use them like this, really easy. Anyhow, yes, AMS turret. We now need to create a docking, but in order to create a docking, we need somewhere to dock. And here we have a rail turret axis. An AMS turret stands for anti-missile system, and it's basically a little turret that shoots down incoming hostile missiles. Now create docking, and then you click somewhere to press down or to spawn the core. And then you want to make sure the core is facing forwards and the top. Then you click middle mouse button onto this and you can go into this. Fantastic. But now you want to place down another little thing there, and then you want to create docking again, and now you just click it in forward and top, just like before, and then you just click so that you are into this structure. Now you need some basic parts. You want a Bobby AI module, you want 2 Canon computers and at least 2 Canon modules. Bobby AI there, Canon computer there, Canon computer there, and then we have the barrel will be there, and this is the supportive computer, and its barrel will, or thing, will be there. So then we select this one and hook up this computer as support. Now we go outside of this and we, oh no, magic. And we can go into this one, and then we can jump out. We're still in gravity, that was the problem. And we go to the Bobby AI and we select it to be a please become a turret, okay, turret. And we select aim at missiles, and you know, random, we can take a random missile. So, and if you wanted to fire some other mode, if you have several outputs, you can select it here. But now it will just shoot down random incoming hostile missiles. You can make it shoot on high damage missiles and low damage missiles as well. But anyhow, it's, you know, a very basic cannon. Missiles also have health points, so you won't be able to shoot down any missiles. Then you go in here and you can also select something called turret, rail turret axis, and this makes us actually control this if it's active. So let's just first, oops, activate it. So now it's active, and we now get in with the ship, and now you can see we are remotely controlling this turret from within the ship because the AI is calculating where it should go. So we can actually fire it from here. But yeah, if we don't have it selected, it will just be automatic. Right. It's possible that I missed some small important point, but generally this should be everything you'll need to know when making your first or maybe it covers a lot of StarMade ships. But yeah, armor stacks up, so remember you can have armors in different layers and it will begin the calculation again. But for example, I just want to add this: if it wasn't air here but the armor blocks continued from before, then it wouldn't calculate again, but this specific part of armor, you can see here, is now, 6, 7, 5 strong instead of here where it's 3, because it's, it sticks together like that. Anyways, I know it might be hard to get into StarMade again when they change so much, or if you're new it's possibly easier, but it's a lot to remember. But anyways, it's my best hopes that this tutorial somewhat helped you make a nice ship. So happy flying! Thanks you very much for watching this Gmodism Total Nerdery channel. Officially signing out.